the house. I'm your host, Lady Merc, and I have a special guest with me, my man Dwayne Miles,
yes.
B. James for all the IGers out there.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. Thank you for coming on to my show. You are doing an amazing thing with your brand. We're going to talk about that. I'm not going to give you all the insight just yet because we got an important, positive show all about Black history. You know why? Because it's Black History Month. It wouldn't be in the house that we didn't discuss social issue. That's what this show is all about, so we can bring you awareness, so we can inspire change, and we can have a better future. That's what it's all about, all in the house. Once again, I'm your girl, Lady Merc. So we're going to start off the show with some Facebook shout-outs. So each and every week, I do a Facebook shout-out because it's birthday season. Right now, it's like the Pisces. So we're going to give it up for Dante King, Trinity Brickley, Brittany Collins, and Suave P. Happy birthday. If you my Facebook friend, DM me if you want a shout out, or just say I got a cousin, go ahead, slide through. I'll give a shout out for you. Everybody celebrate, turn up, about to be the weekend, you already know. Happy birthday. And a little chitter chat news. So this is where I do a little gossip. Everyone's talking about it. I know you didn't heard about it. My man off of Empire, Jamal, aka you know I gotta get into it. Jussie Summit, he was really charged a felony. Like, this is real now. Now, like, first of all, it was so many different stories that came out in 1 week. Let's just start
hard
there.
To keep up with. Hard.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, why would he? What's the purpose of him even doing this? For, like, what, a raise from Empire?
Yeah, like, I didn't even understand. First, I want to say thank you for having me, because when you said that's the first thing I wanted to get it off. Thank you. Thanks for having me. But yeah, I didn't get that because it was like, I didn't really pay much attention. But the little stories I was hearing, they were saying, oh, he did it because he was about to get cut off the show.
Yeah, he about to get
so then I was trying to think, like, okay, so if you conjured up this story, what's gonna make? Are you looking for like the sympathy card?
Right.
Like they're gonna just be like, yo, let's keep you.
My thing is
that was poorly executed. That was just a bad. If that was the plan and that was the reason for it, bro, you could. That was awful.
If
awful.
you're going to do it, why
came up with anything?
Right. Exactly. Why would you do it with people that's already involved with Empire, for one? That, and for two, you didn't even have no one even acting the scene of you getting assaulted. Like, it was no evidence that he was assaulted on the video camera. So it was just like, yo, where when you was bruised? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, yo, you could have easily went to your lawyer that went to Empire, and maybe I could discuss a budget deal of you getting the raise. And then it had to...
That's what
filing the yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Also, it was about the raise. He wanted money.
He wanted to get paid
more.
Yes.
And they were saying they was threatening to let him go.
Right.
Because they say Lee Daniels is an asshole too. Like.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they say Lee Daniels, boy, that prima donna. They say that baby is an asshole when they come to that show. They say,
I'm not surprised. When you Hollywood, you Hollywood.
He give me that demeanor though.
Yeah.
For real, like.
And you know what? Monique was talking about it when she was blackballing.
The whole blackball situation. Yeah.
So
shout out to Monique, man. I'm rocking with Baltimore to the death. I'm rocking with Monique. Y'all say what y'all want. That's Baltimore right there. Hometown hero. I'm rocking.
So she has some words to say about Lee Daniels as well. But I'm just so disappointed because, like, me as a fan of Empire, like, what? Why? Like, can we just... I wanted to believe him. That's what the thing was. I wanted to believe him. And the fact is, like, I can't believe you now. Now
yeah, it's like the boy who cried wolf, bro.
Yeah, it's like your character's demeanor now.
Like, it's tarnished forever.
Exactly.
And then, I mean, I thought he was a good talent. I thought the brother was a good talent. His family, his sister, she kills the game on the acting tip. I just don't understand what was the purpose. Because that in the game, like, all good shows come to an end. Yeah. And I feel like he had enough clout off of Empire that could have propelled him. You know, now he's going to be like the butt of a lot of jokes. It's bad that it happened during Black History Month. Not even to like offset what we going through with the whole clothing industry. I know you're going to talk about that too. Look, it was like, bruh, the timing was off. Everything was just off. So
yeah, you definitely touched on a major piece that I wanted to talk about with the Gucci expo with the blackface, and they actually made the clothing line be like eliminated from the whole brand because it actually looked like a blackface. Like the scarf had the cutout piece and it had the red
the whole
lip.
Sambo thing. Like, come on,
man. And I'm just like,
Shout out to Elevated Minds Apparel. That's my company.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? If y'all want
that has positive message.
Positive message.
Lit. I actually wanted to get this shirt. So
okay. And I wanted to come bearing gifts as well because it dawned on me because I wanted to get your size. So I got you on that. Don't
all right, cool. We want to talk
I'm on
about
record saying that, so I got you.
All right, cool. Because I definitely love the lit.
So yeah, so I can just real quick. So even with these shirts, right? So every Black History Month, the new thing we was doing with Elevated Minds Apparel, we wanted to do like a Black History like little collection. Obviously, it would extend after Black History and become permanently inventory, but we release them every Black History Month. Okay. And what inspired this is a shirt floating around. It says like Nah.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
The Nah with the Rosa Parks. It's like Nah, Rosa Parks 1955,
yeah,
whatever.
I've seen that.
So for me, I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a pop culture phrase, and it's just it's referencing the whole I'm not getting up off the bus thing, right? I get it. So for me, I was like, oh, you know what? I like that, but let's do pop culture phrases. Let's do the same thing, but let's highlight Black people who made significant contributions in our history, but aren't as mainstream as the Malcolms and the. So just to open, like for instance, lit pop culture phrase. We know what lit means. It's like, yo, you lit. It's another. Louis Latimer, who reconstructed the light bulb, made it more accessible to people, and made it basically the light bulb. The problem with the light bulb when it first came your boy got it, Franklin, I think is his name. When he did it, it wouldn't burn for a substantial amount of time. Right. When Lewis went in there, he reinvented it. He made it more accessible, and it just was a phenomenon what he did with the light bulb. So lit, light bulb, Lewis. So it was like boom. So we released this, the Louis Latimer. We did Cooling, Frederick McKinley Jones.
I saw Sway My Edges.
Edges on Fleek. Madam C.J. Walker. Yep. We did that one. And the two ones we did this year, we did You Rich, Mass Musa, who was who's the richest man in history to date. Go ahead and check it. Yes, the richest man in the world was a Black man.
Yes.
Even though Jeff Bezos was on his ass, Amazon, he on his heels. Amazon on his heels. And the other one we did was Flued Out, Bessie Coleman.
Oh.
Bessie Coleman was the first African-American female pilot. So we planned off of those two pop culture phrases this year. Yeah. You Rich, which is Mass Musa, and then we got the Flued Out, Bessie Coleman. So it's
got a little plane on there?
No, it's not a plane on. It's just they just like these. But what happens when you buy the shirt, it comes with a fun fact card to basically enlighten you even more about the person that's on your shirt, the history behind it, and whatever the case. So that's our way of trying to elevate the mind for us. Elevated Minds Apparel.
Exactly, and I love that because we need more like education, like the little fun cards, African American cards I see on Facebook all the time. Let's buy them for our kids because we don't talk about it enough in our school system. So we're gonna get into all of that since we talk about Black history.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'm glad you talk about the school system because I'm ready for that too.
Yo, we go touching so many bases on Black history, and we're gonna break it down because some people don't even know why we celebrate Black history in February. They think because, and I used to be guilty of it too. Oh, it's the shortest month. They don't care about us, and they just give
But it was a day or a week. But we just recently got into it. But honestly, here's the hit though. Black history is 365. It ain't. We're not just subjected to a month. That's what they let us honor. But it's our responsibility to make Black history a ongoing thing in our household, with our families, amongst each other. I just went to a play the other day. Called I don't even want to mess the name up, but I went to a play, and basically the thing about these plays, what they do is they take these timepieces and they go. It was like a Black history play, but they go over. They just highlight a lot of Black people that was from our history, did a lot of significant things.
Right.
I can't even think of the lady's name right now. My girl, she would know if she was here, but I actually learned some stuff at that particular show on Black figures that I knew nothing about, and I'm 38 years old, and that's another thing.
That's awesome.
What we got to do is perpetuate the other stories. Is nothing wrong with the Martins and the Malcolms and the Harriets. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm 38 years old. That's almost 4 decades. You know how much history, how much Black history it is out here that we need to highlight and talk about. I was really in awe, like, oh shit. I was
it's like, a whole new world. Like, I didn't even know we did that.
And I'm just so fascinated by history, yo. Especially because honestly, this is another thing about Black history. Stop thinking that Black history is just all slavery.
Right.
Because it's bigger. We go way. It's way more than just slavery, man. It goes way deep into slavery. Even during that period, what you don't, because it's hard to fathom that a Black man was that Black people was prominent and living at a high esteem in the 1800s because all we see is depictions of slavery, this and another. But I'll have you know, it was a lot of places up north in Canada. There was a lot of places where black people was thriving and flourishing and was prominent, even during those times. And it's just those stories we got to get out there. And as a filmmaker, you know, I think it's my responsibility to do some of those stories as well. It's your duty. Just to you know, enlighten our people, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And the man who started it all was Carter G. Woodson. That's his name. Back in 1926, he celebrated black contributors, trailblazers, things that didn't highlight in the textbook. He made sure it was recognized during this week. It was called the Negro History Week. And in 1976, the president made it official. What's his name? Gerald Ford was the president at the time. He made it officially a month so we can encourage our youth and our people in general to go do our own research and recognize the contributors that did excellent work in this community, in this society that we do not highlight or even recognize for a second to appreciate. And we just kind of roll over it like things just got here on its own. Like, no, it was people that was fighting blood, sweat, and tears to make this country what it is. Great, as they call it, the great USA. But we don't take enough initiative or acknowledgement to the people that helped build this country. You know what I'm saying? So, and the reason why he did it in February, because Frederick Douglass' birthday is on February the 14th, and Abraham Lincoln's birthday is on February 12th. Now, peep this. The reason why he did that because he wanted people to recognize the birthday. He knew that those two people that I just mentioned are public figures. So if people going to recognize, oh, it's our president's birthday, what day is this? Oh, let me also remind myself that it's Black Negro History Week, and let me go research on some history. Let me learn some new, activists that I didn't know about, like you just said. So we have to remind ourselves and challenge ourselves to do more than what our school system are just teaching us. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part. Like, people don't even realize that it's a purpose behind why we celebrate in February. So, whew, I had to get that out. But why is Black History Month important? That's the core. So, because a lot of youth, I think, feel like it's not as important as we try to make it as important to them. They feel like, oh, that's old news, that's back in the 50s, they ain't got nothing to do with us now. But slavery's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about the difference.
Another thing, I feel like how they can lose the interest, back to what I just said, because they aren't, it's like it's just redundant. Every year it's the Martin Luther King and it's like the 5 little figures that they give us, and it's been so redundant, and people, you can lose interest if it's like, bro, you're not giving us nothing to spark the interest. Right. So that might, so again, that's why it's our responsibility to make sure it stays fresh in the mind, and that we do make sure our history is at the forefront. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And we need to celebrate. You know, like you said earlier, what we was mainly taught was slavery. So what you think when you picture slavery? Old people whipped and not, strong enough to like fight back, or poor. And then what you see around your community, the same thing. Poor people can't even get $1. All we have is corner stores, liquor stores. We can't even depend on a good fruit. You know what I'm saying? To even nurture our minds, to even spark an interest of learning more about where we come from. And is this the food that we're supposed to naturally eat? Or this is our native tongue? Like, we don't even know that we don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? This system might be made for us. That's a whole different topic. But just as far as the school system alone, they put these books and they like water down all this information and give us the main Martins and the main Roses and the Fredericks, but we don't hear about the Malcolms or the Nat Turners or even the Edna Baker. Just multiple people I could just name.
There's a lot, man. Like, if you dig deep, you
can just type it in Google. Like, for everyone who wants to be on their phone all day, just go ahead. Black activist leaders, see what you come up. Just have fun and see what you come up with, because it's so many people, and that's why it's important. It's our duty as well, people who are woke and conscious, to inspire the youth. Let's move past the Martin. Let's go on this person. If you don't know this person, I want a book report on this person. Like, require knowledge from these kids so they can understand their roots. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's the difference, and people don't be. They feel like this. I guess we get uninspired ourselves. Like we're guilty as much as the youth.
Because I mean, it's really like our responsibility to introduce it to the youth anyway. So
yeah, and it's done like you said, generation over generation. My parents didn't really sit down like, hey, you're a queen, or hey, you're a king. Not saying that most parents don't. I'm not saying that, but we didn't really know that we coming from a whole different motherland.
I feel like we doing better. I feel like there's a lot of optimism there, far as just the awakening of the people. You understand what I'm saying? But my thing, what I don't like now, is how easily we're still divided, like by anything. Like for instance, I put a post up earlier. We can go back to I put a post up because I really wasn't gonna say much about it, but it like dawned on me when you talk about Black History Month, when you talk about these brands and what they're doing now. Because all right, now I noticed you mentioned the one with the Gucci with the the blackface. Yeah. But then Burberry hit you with the noose joint. You ain't see that?
I ain't see this Burberry.
Oh my God! Look at this shit. You ain't see this? Shorty, this one worse than Gucci. They got the noose on the hoodie, like they got the noose on the joint.
Yo, and it's been happening like month after month, because with the children place had this, and then now it's Gucci. Now it's all these big brands. Now everybody's like, oh, I'm not gonna rock the brand, but that's BS on some real, because to be honest, people going to sell to a Negro, they know it's brand name. They know there's the latest thing out, and they want to be in the in crowd or just want to fit in. It's just like you got to have more respect and put your dollar back into the Black business that it's going to benefit your culture, your community. It's going to like invest into your people. You giving this. It's the craziest thing, and I know it's like beyond Black history just a little bit, but we put so much money and investment into so many other culture and people than our own. It's like we are in slavery. Look
at this. Burberry sweatshirt.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
They got the noose on
the noose on the neck on the Burberry. Yeah, that's breaking news. Right? That's crazy. They are changing our fashion.
No. Look. Well, listen, we gotta see. They really got the noose.
Yo.
They got the noose.
Please look it up. Blueberry.
Burberry. They got the noose.
Burberry.
Yeah, they got the noose on the
noose neck. Whatever.
Hold up, but when they issued their apology, the apology said something about suicide. They was like, we're sorry. Oh, George Spring featuring condemned for invoking suicide lynching. Here's the thing. First of all, this is another thing. You got to listen to the dialogue for invoking suicide lynchings. What? Like the fuck our ancestors was like walking out at the back of the yard, climbing up on the fucking tree, putting the noose around themselves. What are you talking about?
Right.
It ain't no invoking suicide. That shit is hinting at slavery. That's what the fuck it is. Right. And then another thing why I say it's strategic, because once again, it's just their way of like putting a pie in our face. Now we're supposed to be celebrating Black History Month. So do you think that is a coincidence that Gucci do it, Burberry done did it, Prada did it with the keychain and something other? But what really pissed me off, this is what my post was about today. What pisses me off is this. When you got the shutting and jiving ass niggas that'll jump out there and then like defending, the first thing they say is, man, you can't tell me how to spend my money. Right. Bro, you right. Bro, you right. Yeah, well him too, that too, but then just other people, period. Because I really believe that I think Gucci actually giving him a couple of hours to go through with that for real too. Obviously, Mayweather is a mega figure, and just one thing about this stupid ass society, we just idolize celebrities so much that their influence can just sway the culture. That's the first thing. So we know that. So when I see Floyd Mayweather do that, he a goofball and all that, but I know the conspiracy theorist side of me thinks like, oh yeah, Gucci done slid him a bag and say, boy, listen, man, we need you on that campaign. We gonna give you a lifetime worth of Gucci. We just need you to get out there on the front line and go ahead and say something nice about us. Yeah, I get that. But I'm talking about the other wild niggas that's like still putting it on like, oh boy, I'm the slickest nigga alive. I want to ask niggas now like, yo, honestly, can you really? Because I ain't gonna lie, Gucci do got some nice looking items. I ain't gonna lie, I done seen some shit from Gucci and be like, oh damn, that's tough. Yeah. But then I looked at the price tag too and be like, oh yeah, it's just that tough. Because it's I don't know if I'm gonna be able to call that $2,500 for these sneakers real quick now. But here's the thing. it's not a knock to that, because if you make the money, you do what you want to do with your money. Again, if you the type to go out here and bust your ass and you want to go splurge on something, by all means do it if you got the funds to do that. Yeah. So it don't mean that, but I feel like it's a situation where in our culture, it's a sense of validation. Niggas feel a sense, because at the end of the day, I've always been a stylish nigga. Anybody who know me, I've always been pretty stylish. Yeah. But I never really had the desire to be like, oh, I gotta go get the Gucci. Exactly. So this one was easy for me, because it's like, damn, I'm 38. I ain't never owned a piece of it, for real. I'm gonna be honest.
And you're fine.
Now in 2005, we was taking them trips to Tyson Corner going to get them Prada shoes. I ain't gonna lie. We done went down to Tyson's a few times and brought a few pairs of Pradas. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. But and my little son, for graduation last year, he graduated. He went to he down Dunbar now. He wanted to go out, and me and his mother put up, and he got a little pair of Gucci sneakers for whatever. But me personally, I've never owned a piece of it. I've never owned a piece of nothing. But it's like they're making a mockery. It's like, do you really? I just wonder, when you niggas is draped in, or when you spend, like when you knowing this, like now, can you really go spend that 25 or that 350 on that belt to set another and leave and drive from out Tyson's and really feel good, knowing that you just spent, especially for you hustling ass niggas, because I know what time I done been on that side of the fence before. Nigga, you done went out here, we done broke law. We done broke law. We taking big risk to get it. So we gonna get it, and we gonna ride right up to 70, the Tysons, that busted up on a company that don't give a fuck about you.
Exactly.
I don't know if I can cuss on.
No, you good.
But I'm just saying. So again, to you, because a couple of my homies, I know niggas in the trenches will get down and make their little moves and shake the move. So really, fellas, I'm gonna ask you this now. So is that what we doing now? Are we taking these risks? And taking these risks, because get it how you live. I don't knock the hustle. Whatever you do, get it how you live by any means. But if you really taking risk, is it really worth it now to go up there, bust that cheese up on these people, knowing now it's in your face and ain't nothing that nobody's speculating or what we heard. Exactly. We done seen it. We know where they mindset at. Do you really feel like the slickest nigga in the clique for doing it now, or is it sometimes? I don't know.
You just look dumb, and you just need to put that money back into your community or in your pocket, in your savings.
Minds of pearl. That's the number. Every time we do that, shop elevated. We get you right.
Get you back to your people.
Oh my God, 2,500. Man, you might buy all the inventory we got in stock and still have $1,000.
You failing your people, like you literally just failing your people. So that's why I think it's like modern day slavery is worse than the early day slavery, and I hate that like. What you
oh no, because I'm just thinking about the fashion. Well, I was gonna say go to Okafor or Huey brand. They right across the street. Both of them I got 2 black-owned businesses right across the street. Right there across the street on 25th Street. Right there, black-owned businesses. Spend your money there. You know what I mean?
Crazy, but yeah, like modern day history is definitely, I think,
a thing.
You know, it's not only a thing. I think it's gonna like tear down society if we don't get our people together. Like we gotta get people like aware and involved and changing their habits. Especially with their money, like
I'm sorry. You know, the time that I just learned, I kept hearing it a lot, but I didn't really understand it. But now I'm like starting to understand it. I heard people using the term lately, the past 2-3 years. They talking about like self hate, right? So I couldn't really identify with it because I'm like, damn, self hate. What they talking about self hate? This and another. And then you know the video surfaced about the guy with him and the white people. They was together and they was like toasting for more light skinned babies and all this, right? Like really, said that for real. And then I really started thinking about it and I started understanding like, damn, okay, that's what self-hate is. Like, I feel like we don't even love each other enough, ourselves enough as a culture. Like, self-hate is like, even when I come through, or I might just come in here, I might just come here, I might be waiting up next to, to get on here. Yeah. But yo keep looking at me like, yo, what the fuck is this nigga looking at me for? I'm like, well, I don't, bro, I'm just waiting. But I'm starting to identify with it and understand what it is, and it's like, yo, it's crazy because it's really a thing in our culture and amongst our people. And I don't know what it is or what it's going to take to break it. So I think this is a good segue into this. I'm also a filmmaker. I got a new web series out right now. We just dropped called Out of Barrel. Yep. It's buzzing in the streets right now. A lot of people. We was just on 92Q the other day. A lot of people showing us big love. But what I was adamant about with that series, I started filming August 11th. I cut the cameras on. We dropped on January the 9th. But with that, we up to 7 episodes already. We just released our 7th episode last night.
Congrats.
The finale is episode 8, which is next, released March the 6th. I was adamant about everybody on that project. Everybody on that project is from Baltimore. I got shout out to we even filmed over across the street and Taste This. Shout out to every black-owned business on there that opened the doors for us to let us go in there and do our thing. Every music artist that you hear on there is Baltimore. And the point that I was trying to make when I said that was, when I put a post out, I started reaching out to people. I said, look, I'm looking for artists. I don't care if your platform is 5,000 followers or 5 followers. If you got music, you send us music. If it fit for what we trying to do, I'm trying to put you on. The mentality that I had going with this project is like, yo, we get a bad rap. Everybody know, oh, we shoot them up, bang, bang. We go hard, we kill, set another crab in the barrel. So I'm trying to show niggas like, all right, let's bridge the gap. Like to this day, if you listen to the episode, the first episode is peaking at like 13,000 views right now. The theme song that we got on there, to this day, I have yet to shake the brother hand. Me and yo ain't even meet yet.
That's crazy.
But we've been building since September. This man, like, I got a whole theme song.
Yeah.
Just some of the artists, the people, the way it's organically been put together. And I'm actually an actor. Like, that's my first love. But I'm in like one scene. But I wanted to really put on and showcase the talent of my city and show, like, outside of all the murders that's going on and everything you see, we can really come together collectively and put together. That's really what I want the kudos for. I don't even care, like, when it's all said and done and like people really be like, yo, that shit was tough, yo. I love what y'all doing, because that's what we getting now. Like, a lot of that feedback, but really, I want to look at it and people be like, yo, that's a really dope project. And Baltimore really came together.
Exactly.
We came together and put together something that was positive and people taking to it. That's the thing, yo, like, we keep getting overlooked. It does, the whole selfish thing, it doesn't fucking work. Excuse my language. And if you look around, yo, we even got no disrespect to Virginia, nobody. When you say the DMV, we don't have nobody really prevalent here in the game. And this ain't none of us that's on our level doing our thing. Even with you, I told this to my cast, right? I told this to my cast, even when you reached out to me, even though it was through my clothing brand, for real. Then when I hit you, I was like, yo, I got this going on too, because I got a couple other stations and local stations reaching out to us. And I told my crew, I said, listen, this is what we're going to do. When these press runs and stuff start coming up, I say, yo, I don't care if a station reached out to us and they got 2 listeners, nigga. I don't give a damn. We going. And I said, this is why. I said, because if they have because you can't. Who am I to turn my nose up to you? Because that's another thing we do here too. Y'all gotta, we be chasing the car here too. Because the niggas will do this. They'll do this. I might say, oh, yo, come to my radio station. Or, check my, what you come out. First thing they do, go to IG, boom. Oh, this nigga got 2 followers. Man, I ain't fucking with y'all. Me personally, I know millionaires, real millionaires, who got like 1, 2, that social media shit is obsolete to them. But it's a misconception that people look at now and it's like, yo, it ain't worth the time. Like I told everybody, I said, yo, if these stations and these platforms reaching out to us, because if they is as hungry as we are, in the next 5 years, if they still on their grizzly and we on our grizzly, I see them at the top. Now we done came back. We got something bubbling here in town. Now they done shit, because they was consistent. They might have had 5 followers, but shit, they was so RadioOnFire, like, man, this shit gonna pop. Now I come back 2-3 years, RadioOnFire, syndicating in 2 countries. They doing their thing, this and that. Now I'm coming knocking on the door like, yo, can I get a lady? Yo, can I get a spot? You look, nigga, when we was fucked up, you didn't have nothing to do with it. And that's really what it be. That's really what it be. So, like, and I was adamant, and I'm adamant about time anyway. So when you said 6 sharp, I'm like, shit, all right, I'm coming. I'm like, it is what it is. I just don't want to get told. I can get a ticket. Please don't tow my shit. I can pay the ticket. I just ain't trying to get told. So it's like, I gotta put that energy out though. You can't be lopsided with the support. You know what I mean? You want people to be there for you and looking, tapping into what you got going on, but it's not reciprocated. Like, and I'm trying to be the nigga, the leader of the new school that's really starting that new togetherness way. I want to make it frowned upon to hate on a nigga. Like, oh, yo, you still hate, man. You goofy. Niggas ain't even doing that. Oh, you don't support? Oh, you one of them non-supporting ass nigga? All right, yo, we don't even fuck with your type. But cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like we laughing at you for shit like that now. You know what I'm saying?
We need that.
You know what I mean? So that's really my vision. So
keep doing that. Keep getting young people involved. Like, young people love being involved with like film, especially acting, music, whatever the case may be, and mentor, like inspire them to like.
I can't wait to mentor. Like the mentor.
Exactly.
That's really what I'm trying to do. Yeah. With the kids and with elevated minds, because even our name, we want to keep doing stuff in the community to tap into the youth. Shout out to one of the characters in my show, Wesley Hawkins. He has a nonprofit thing going on, and we've been meeting together. We actually meet in March the 1st. We're gonna do a lot of stuff for the youth, and we, anything, and even with y'all, anything that got to do with the youth or giving back to the youth or helping them or bridging that gap, I always want to be involved in that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm the same way. Same way. So let me know if y'all got events, because I'm definitely with that. I'm all about the youth, Lady Merc in the house. So back to the topic real quick, because that just segued to.
Sorry about that. I digressed a little bit.
No.
I'm ADHD. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm all over the place, but I stay centered.
But it's so real and it's so like authentic, because that's the truth. And we have like witnessed it time after time. That's why we don't have the Black Wall Street no more. We stopped supporting each other. We stopped believing in each other. And that's why we putting our dollar everywhere else, because we don't have that black figure that we can just believe in.
Integration is the reason why. Because when we was forced to have our own stuff, we had our own stuff.
Facts.
That's the realest shit ever.
The white stuff is better. Let us in, please be equal. And then when he started doing that, it was like, fuck what we got.
Let's build.
White pop.
Yeah.
White pop.
Yeah.
We want that bathroom instead of cleaning our bathroom.
It was almost like a psychological effect. The fact that you couldn't get in so long, now that you're finally in, it's like, guess what? Oh man, look what I. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, like Ho say, yo, we really run the culture.
We do.
If we saying that shit phony, it's phony. Like, only reason Gucci even, I mean, that's for real. Yo, if they look at us and we be like, yo, man, if we say pay less to hide this shit out, pay less gonna be the hottest shit out for real. Like, straight up. Like, if niggas say, yo, them pro wings fire. You see them new 2020 pro wings?
Yeah.
Nigga like, shit. Me like, man, I'm rocking pro wings, son of brother. Pro wings gonna go through the fucking roof. You feel me? That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but the thing is that I don't understand, is that psychological effect. That's what it is, because we don't even understand how we really shift and run shit for real.
Right.
And that's where they got us by the ball. I think that's where now they getting blatant, because I was reading like, yo, a lot of these, because these brands never really, honestly, really ever wanted us in their shit.
Exactly,
anyway.
to begin with.
Even with the heel figures and all that, so they never did. But then it got to the point like, hey, Bob, like, I mean, we don't want niggas wearing our stuff, but the numbers show that annually the black folks are actually spending $2 billion more than our Caucasian customers. Yeah. So I think we're gonna have to let the niggas in.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's basically what it was. So they like, look, we don't fuck with these niggas, but these niggas are spending that money. So here's what we gonna do. And here's back to the psychological fact. Now it's like, now let's play with them now. Now let's just make a mockery of them, because now we got them on the hook, and we done put this dope in their veins so much. Fuck it. That's like a dope fiend. A dope fiend will come through the line to get a black. The nigga can walk up and say, listen, it's $10 and I'm slapping the shit out of everybody that come up here to get a hit. They gonna walk up there freely to get their cheeks smacked. And they gonna walk up there and he gonna open hand slap the shit out of him. You gonna pay him to slap you and get your blast. You can go about your business. It's the same thing with this. I mean, that's the
reality.
That's it.
So what can we do to like alter that thinking of our people? Like, how can we change the behavior?
The first thing, through the youth, because see what's gonna happen is when you're dealing with adults or people like this. One thing about some people, especially our elders, like our mothers and all them, like a lot of stuff my mother just wasn't conscious to. Like you said, credit, Black history, it wasn't a thing. They coming from my grandmother and them, how they was raised, one track mind, that religious hold on them, this, that, and other, whatever the case. So when you trying to sway somebody, if you talking to a 60-year-old person who all they know is holier than thou, Jesus, 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 it's gonna be hard to get through to somebody like that, and it's gonna be real combative when you got a fresh young mind right here, a youth, a fresh young mind, when you can just cultivate and instill into them. It's bridging the gap through the youth. Communicating and joining forces with the ones that's on our level now. Because there's a lot of free thinkers, there's a lot of people now that's really putting things in motion. It's aligning with those groups. So because it's strength in numbers. You know, you got groups out here right now who are trying to put schools together, who trying to work on different curriculum, who trying to put together a lot of different programs for people. So, you know, you got this, what you got going on. Oh, yo, you know, we got this thing going on too. Right. All right, boom, let's join force. Let's tap into that. And then everybody come together like Voltron and start building that community. And then once you start to cultivate it like that, it'll just become systematic. You just got to make shit, the way they got their shit systematic. How they always talk about the system. Let's create our own system.
Facts.
Let's make our own system and create our own systematic thing. Because the thing about them, one thing I do admire about them, when I say them, the powers that be, the white folks that said never, you got to admire their ability to execute and their patience. Because when they set plays in motion, and then the thing about it, they don't even hide their hand. They do shit right in plain sight. They show you the blueprint.
Exactly.
It's another point of making a mockery of. They just know we so far gone psychologically that we ain't even going to catch on. Like, they give us the game. Like, they don't hide what they do. Like, they make their moves right in front of you, and niggas still don't catch on to the game. It ain't like some shit is undermined. Yeah, don't get it wrong, but for the most part, the way they move is in plain sight. Like, they don't hide their hand. They make their moves and they go about what they gonna do. And they got patience, man. They execute plans. They put them together, and they'll put some shit in play. He'll tell his son. He know he ain't even gonna live to see that unfold. But he gonna embed it in his kids so much that they gonna raise up to that, and they gonna put it in their kids. And they just gonna be on it to do it. Generational thing.
Generation curse. So please let everyone just like research your own history, starting with your African history. I know a lot of stuff, like even tribes or language or where we become, and that's how it's supposed to be our motherland. Like, do your own research of where we came from. We are kings and queens first, you know what I'm saying? Then it transferred to like being slaves and slave owners, and now we still modern day slaves. So it's just like he said, psychological and physically slave into this system of society we call America.
I'm sorry. And this is another thing too. Don't let history fool you. I think they swayed a little bit with that slavery thing, right? That's all a part of the psychological effect. Yo, them Africans was overthrowing them ships, man. That slave trade got cut off. They was going back to that like Armistice and shit. Them Africans, listen to me, man. They was going over there. They tried that shit. When them Africans was overthrowing them ships. See, they perpetuate their story. They're never gonna tell you stories of triumph ever. Don't you ever think that if you gotta dig deep, they're never gonna tell you nothing where we were victorious or we overcame. They're not gonna perpetuate those stories. That you can believe. But don't you for one second think that them slaves was in compliance and shit like that, man. You got, and just think even how guns were designed and shit back then. They wasn't semi-automatic weapons. They were one fire. You got a lot of shit to go. This and another. Some of them, like when he said on Black Panther, throw me over, because when he told with that monologue that Cho said about being in bondage, it was some people that was willing to die, man. Yep. Listen, it was some people that was willing to put their life on the line. So what I'm saying is, if a nigga is willing to jump overseas to sharks and all that to his death, you don't think that they willing to take? You got the slaves gonna outweigh these dudes that's on the ship, man. Come on, Doug. Come on, man. They wasn't going for that. Them slaves wasn't going out like that, man. Now, some of the slave trade did take place. Slavery was a real thing. But all that back and forth going to Africa and think them people wasn't, them Zulus and all that wasn't taking them, overthrowing them ships.
Exactly.
Get deep into your culture because it's real.
Man, thank you for just the knowledge and just the awareness that you bring to the table. I want to get into you a little bit on my Who Up Next segment. This is where we do artists, entrepreneurs, anybody that's doing anything positive or trying to get their music out there. Shout out to me and slide in my DMs. We will have you on Who Up Next. And we got my man, Mr. Bob James, going to do it like this because it's about his business right now. And you got so many things going on. Just talk about Out of Bounds earlier with your series. You got to be on your finale. So shout out to you again for doing that. Definitely would love to come there and do a role play with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
I'm a little actor, you feel me? Yeah. No, but how did you even get into playwriting and filming? What's that detail?
I ain't gonna lie. My father said I was in a play. I was Paul Laurence Dunbar at 4 years old. That memory kind of vague to me a little bit. I smoked a lot of weed since then. However, I mean, look, that's my thing. I love it. It's from the earth. However, honestly, acting in like that, that's been like, I guess when kids say, yo, all I want to do is be a basketball hoop or football.
That was your dream.
That was always something I wanted to do. So I always was 1 foot in it, 1 foot out of it. Like I would be taking my little acting classes, but I'm like surrounded by niggas who want to hustle and do other stuff, and it's like niggas don't want to read a monologue, man.
Right.
I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So it was one of them things. Then my little phone get the jump doing good. It's like I ain't really think about acting. But anyway, I've always been connected to it. I studied at Arena Players back in 2003 to 05. I was on The Wire a couple times back in like 2003, that whole 2003-05 season. That was like the first little film stuff that I did. I did a short film back in 2008. I did a short film called Elysium. Then we did this thing. I don't know if y'all know, shout out to my man Cleon the Comedian. We had this little YouTube joint called Bluffin' Ass Nigga. We had that, if you remember that, back in like 2012, 11, we had the whole city like really buzzing with that. Like that was crazy. And then around that time is when I started to develop the love for directing, because I had wrote my first play, Couldn't See It Coming. I wrote and directed my first play, and we had it at Goucher College. That was a real dope piece. I challenged myself as a writer. It was nothing like Out of Bounds. The whole one of the characters was like a writer, and one of them was a pilot. So I did that. And I just started directing, and I was doing little skits, and we started doing, I did a bunch of like little different skits and stuff like that. Yeah. Then I started to really develop that passion. It was just something about writing something, just like writing it. Yeah. And then it's a difference in me like writing. This is how you got this wrote down, and you give it to me like, yo, this is what we're going to do. This is going to be the scene. Right. And then you give it to me, and then I'm like, oh shit. And then you like really buy into it. And like, I'm like, oh shit, she really buying into the shit. Mm-hmm. And you really becoming a character. So it was something about that, just the directing thing that just made me, I'm like, damn, I'm really enjoying behind the camera and all that. And that's more so what I did. So Out of Bounds was actually a project that we tried to get off the ground 3 years ago. Okay. Due to resources, unfortunately, just a time thing. It just didn't happen. And I'm kind of glad it didn't. It wasn't the time. Exactly. Came back to it, got it together, produced it, because I don't like to feel defeated by stuff too. Yeah. So it was one of them things that I wanted to bring out. And I thought the story was compelling, and I just wanted people to see it. One of my good friends co-wrote it with me. Shout out to Terry Hosley. He was one of the co-writers on the joint with me, and then we just got the business. So yeah, I've been at it for quite some time. I've been at it for quite some time, and off and on, but just really being consistent now. I got a short film that I'm working on. The next step is, this one was to like, just get my feet back wet, get the ball rolling. So we put that out there just to get get my name out there as a director. I also did The Raisin in the Sun. I directed that back in November at the UB Blake Cultural Arts Center. Shout out to Cortez and everybody over there. And I just been like just grinding, man, meeting a lot of good talent, working with a lot of dope people throughout the city, and then just working, man.
Do you have a favorite director or producer, like maybe famous or maybe Tyler Perry? Like, I ain't gonna lie, Tyler Perry was one of my favorite playwrights when I was growing up.
So what Tyler? No. So when you say playwright, probably August Wilson or Sam Art Williams, far as playwriters. Okay. Those two brothers are pretty dope playwriters. Tyler Perry on the inspirational side, like how his grind, like just knowing that, okay, he was self-taught. I didn't go to school for this. Exactly. You can really come from, so just how he built his empire up and all that. Obviously, definitely like him for that. Directors, there's a bunch of Spike. Everybody loves Spike.
Yeah, of course.
I think Spike's dope. Who else? Another director, Martin Scorsese is another dope one that I like. I like who else? Tim Burton. It's a couple cats that I like. Just learning different styles and watching, people, stuff like that. But Ron Krugler, I like Shorty. He's another inspiration to me though. Young black brother coming up. There's a bunch right now. I'm not too familiar.
Ryan definitely dope. We gotta work with him.
I'm not too familiar with everybody as far as name wise. There's another cat named Slick Naeem. I be watching him on IG. I've been watching him come up. I watched him, and we be actually communicating. He gave me a couple tips and shit on IG. So if you ever see this, Slick Naeem, I appreciate you. But I seen him do a short film one time. He had a short film called Full Circle. I seen this brother, this in 2013 when I got on him. I seen his short film go from the film festival. Then I started following him. Yo, had like, back to what I was telling people, chase the clock. He had like 1,000 followers. He wasn't certified. Yeah. But I'm like watching him. Man, I look up, yo done directed like an episode of Power. I look up, yo directed like Law and Order. Yo just moving. Lit. I'm like, right. But low key, so I'm like, people like that, man. So I just been, and I always study the game. Even if I don't got nothing going on, right. I'm always looking at, like, I'm researching stuff on YouTube, how tutorials for stuff, how to shoot, trying to learn different angles and learn different styles. Even watching a movie is like film study when you're trying to be a creative. So that's a good part.
And it's a passion that you have behind it. Like that love would never go away. So that's why you chase it. So when did you start Elevated Mind Apparel?
Okay, good question. So for the record, I had zero desire to have a clothing brand.
Right,
I had zero desire. I had zero desire to. But like I said, I love fashion. I always thought I was a pretty fashionable guy. Okay. So Elevated Minds came. So like I said, I'd be like hustling too, man. I was running like these happy hours. We was doing these happy hours called Intermission Thursdays down on Howard Street. So I had a partner. Shout out to my man Dave Diggs. I had a partner on there, and we was talking. And I was like, yo, I got this idea for these hoodies that I want to bring. I want to bring out these hoodies, or whatever the case. And so I don't know, Dave. You ain't bite on that idea either, man. You missed that jet. Dave ain't really bite on that idea. No, so anyway, I don't want to say what I was gonna put on hoodies yet because I actually didn't put them on because I'm gonna bring them out next. So I'm holding on to that. But so that's why I love weed. Smoking a blunt one day, and I saw a pop-up ad pop up, and this dude had a shirt on, and it was like Democrat, Republican, and something like independent, but it was like all crossed out. So I was like, damn, I thought, and I was like, yo, what's the positions of power in the workplace? That's what I said to myself. So I was working at Amazon at the time, and I was going to do put it in like Amazon lingo, but I knew people wouldn't like get it. So I wrote on there, manager, supervisor, worker, and I scratched them all out. And at the bottom it said like entrepreneur. And then I started with 12 hoodies, and we over 350 hoodies sold. So when I started putting them online, it was like, yo, I got these new hoodies. Like people was just like, oh, yo, they hot. Yo, where you get the hoodie from? Where you get the? I was gonna wear one of my hoodies today, but I wore this because it was Black History Month and I knew what it was. So because I always wear my product, so I was gonna wear one of the hoodies, but I didn't. But anyway, yo, the hoodie like started taking off. It started gaining momentum. Like hella people was really hitting me like, yo, where can I get the hoodie? Where can I get the hoodie? So I'm like, So I took a week off.
Right.
I didn't have like no name or nothing. So I'm like, damn. So I was like, yo, I was gonna call it Provoked Apparel at first. Okay. But I'm like, I started searching like Twitter handles. I'm like, oh, I seen somebody who had it, but they wasn't even using it. They ain't even using like 2 years. I'm like, all right, I ain't even gonna mess with it because I know if I do it, I know how hard I'm gonna go. Right. So I started. So my girl was like, because of the message, and I was like, yo, with my company, I want each piece of clothing that I bring out, I want to convey a message. I knew that was the concept of Elevated Minds Apparel. So my girl like, well, I mean, you is kind of keeping them elevated. I'm like, oh, elevating the mind. So I started typing that in, seeing was it available. It was available. I brought the domain name for the website. I brought that, and then I think I went down to the state office building, filed all my paperwork, filed everything, made sure everything was legitimized. And then I got back online. I started hollering at my man. I got my man, shout out to my man Cash down in Atlanta by way of Baltimore. He do my logos and shit. He just sent him an idea. Started working on the logos, and then it just started to develop. And then I really turned it into a business. Right. And then I started giving it more thought and bringing out pieces. For each piece that we bring out with Elevated Minds, it's just basically trying to convey a message. Like we got another hat. It says hustle, invest, repeat. So that's basically what we trying to say. That's the thing. Hustle, invest, repeat. Hustling is y'all hustle now, going to work, whatever the case. Hustle, invest, repeat. So everything with Elevated Minds, we're always going to put pieces out that try to convey the message or elevate the thought. So even with the entrepreneur hoodie, it doesn't mean don't fucking get a job. It's another. It means you could be at McDonald's every day going to work, working on the fries, but have aspirations to open up your own burger joint. Exactly. You get what I'm saying? That's exactly. So we're trying to convey that message because before we go, I know we got 5 minutes. We are taught just to work for other people, man. We're not raised. That's another thing we got to tap into too. We're not raised. My mother never said, go build you a business. She said, boy, finish school, go get you a job. Go get you a job. She ain't never said, go build you a studio or go build, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to my mother, I love her to death, but it's just that I'm just an unconventional thinker. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what we got to do. We need more unconventional thinkers. And that's what Elevated Mind is. We're trying to elevate the mind. So That's the point of the whole company.
Definitely give out people where can they buy your clothing at, where can they see our Bounds at, everything. Like,
okay, so
all the
our YouTube channel is 18 Miles, MILES TV. You can search Out of Bounds, like the sports term, Out of Bounds.
Okay.
It'll pop right up. We're controlling the search engine right now. So as soon as you pop it up, you'll see our whole all our episodes up there. For the clothing, you can shop elevatedmindsapparel.com. All our stuff is on there. You can follow me on IG at BOOBEE. That's Booby James, not Bob. Booby James.
Booby James.
And I just love this. I love this whole vibe, man. This was a vibe today.
Yo, thank you so much for coming out to In the House. Yes, once again, my name is Lady Merc. Find me at Lady Merc 92 on Instagram. Always follow Radio on Fire because it's the hottest show every day, Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Tune in next week. We're going to have a part 2 of Black History, but it's going to be all about Baltimore history, which is very important as well as we close out this February Black History Month. Peace.
Peace. My man said you killed the interview. He must be watching.
Hey.